be doing a painting that I like to call a touch of spring, since we're getting into springtime. And it's gonna have a lot of colors. It's gonna be pretty easy to follow along. You're gonna learn some new techniques, and I hope you'll have a fun time making it like I am. So today we're gonna start with our 12 by 12 inch canvas, and you should have all of your colors already prepped for you. And we're gonna start by prepping our canvas with a nice layer of white. And you just wanna take your big brush and bring it across the canvas just like so. And we're gonna get it nice and evenly coated so that all of the other paints can go on smoothly. Make sure to get on the edges, on the top. Spread it out nice and evenly. And that looks great to me. So, now that we've got our canvas prepped, I'm going to take a little bit of our dark blue color and I'm going to bring it across our canvas on the top, just like this. And it's going to blend in really nicely with the white. And this is going to be our sky. And you want to do this pretty much to halfway down the canvas. And if it's not perfectly covered, it's fine because we're gonna have some nice clouds and trees. So there's no worries if it's not perfect. Just a nice blue color is great. And my canvas is sideways now. Okay. That looks great to me. Okay, now we're gonna take a clean brush. If you want to use the brush you just did, then just rinse it off in some water and make sure it's pretty dry. And we're gonna load this brush with some white. Get it pretty saturated with the color. And we're gonna take a touch of light red, just a little bit. When I was practicing this painting, I got way too much red the first time, and it turned my cloud pink, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna take it and dot it here. Just kind of let the cloud be what it wants to be. Doesn't matter, just as long as you're happy with your cloud. Sometimes it helps to take the side of the brush so you can get a little bit more coverage. And if you're not happy with how your cloud comes out right now, then you can always go back once it's a little bit more dry and touch up whatever parts you want to touch up. Let's see, make it come across here. This is a really big cloud. And my canvas is sideways again. Is there a way we can keep that from falling? Okay. Let's continue. So I'm just gonna finish up on my cloud here. Give it a couple little wispies. Blend out some of the red. I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna take my big brush and put it to the side, rinse it off so I can use it later. And I'm going to combine some red, some blue, and some white to make a lighter lavender color. And I'm just gonna do that with my medium-sized brush. And y'all should have flat palettes, which will make it pretty convenient to just mix what colors you want. I'm using a separate palette, and I'm using my white, my dark blue, and some bright red. And you can make that whatever shade of lavender you want. It can be lighter, darker, as long as you're happy with it. Let's see, I think I'm gonna add a little bit more blue to mine. I'm happy with that color. So now I'm gonna take my medium brush and do a similar technique to what I did with the cloud. And I'm just gonna load it with some of that color. And right where my skyline ends, I'm gonna make the indication of some trees. And take off a little bit of color. I put a little bit too much. If you put too much color, you can just wipe off the brush on a paper towel and it's fine. And these trees are not going to be at the forefront of our painting, so they don't have to be perfect at all. Just trying to create a lot of layers here. We make a tall one in the corner, making a little forest, and just kind of blend it out. Next, I'm just going to take a touch of white on the same brush, just enough to get a little bit, not too much. And I'm just going to tap it out on the bottom so we can blend out those colors nicely. Okay, now I'm going to rinse off my medium-sized brush. And dry it off. And I'm going to combine dark green, some mustard yellow, and some bright yellow until I get a nice light green. And I'm going to repeat that same tree technique that I did. And I'm going to layer some nice light green trees below these purple trees. Let's see, let's make this one go up too. And I'm just going to rinse off my brush, dry it off. I'm going to do the exact same thing where I took some white and blend out the color here. We're going to rinse our brush again, and I'm going to take some dark brown and this bolder red, not the bright red, but the slightly darker one. I'm going to combine these, and guess what? We're making more trees again. Same thing, where we just give the indication of a little forest back here. And if your trees don't look like my trees, that's fine. That would be really boring if all our trees looked the same. Maybe get a little bit more of my brown. I got too much brown, but that's okay. Just blend it out. Now I'm gonna take my small, Luna's down here checking out what we're doing. Maybe we can get a surprise cameo from her. So I'm gonna take my little brush and I'm gonna dip it in a little bit of water. And I'm gonna roll it in my hand like this to make it super fine. Then I'm gonna dip it in that same brown color we used to make our brown trees. Then I'm gonna dip it in water again, just so we can lighten up that color a little bit. And if you wanna roll it again, if you don't mind getting paint on your fingers, if not, you don't have to. And I'm just gonna put the indication of some twigs and sticks, not too dark, very light, just to make it feel like a forest. I struggled with this part when I was working on this painting, but this technique helped me get it a little bit lighter. That's pretty. Okay. All right, next I'm going to take, let's use that bigger brush that we made the sky with, since we're doing some covering of the canvas next. And I'm going to combine mostly dark blue and a little bit of black. Just like that. And the black will go really far. It'll turn all your colors very dark, but that's what we want. I'm going to take up a lot of that color. And this is a little bit scary, but don't worry, we're just going to take it and bring it all the way across the canvas, just like we did with the sky. And I usually run out of color when I do this step. So I'm going to take all the color that I made. And it helps if you just scrub it in there. It stretches it out a little bit. And then you can make it nice and pretty again. So cover as much as you can, and then when you run out, I like to take just some of the plain dark blue and put it in the spots that don't have any color. Or if you wanted darker water, you could do the same thing with black. I just think the dark blue adds a nice pop of color here. And we're gonna do that all the way up here just until we hit our trees. Not quite. Don't touch the trees with the water. Just until we're right there. That looks great. Okay. Now we're gonna combine some brown with a touch of white. We're going to mix that together until we get kind of a light brown color here. And we're going to take our paint scraper. I mix it with a brush, so I'm just going to get the color out on the paint scraper here. But you want to take your paint scraper and get it into that paint. So you make a little roll. Just like that. A little, you see? The roll of paint. And this part's a little bit scary, but don't worry. And we're just going to drag it along the canvas. Just like that. And we're going to keep doing that until we get a nice little kind of riverbank hill action here. This slope down a little bit into our water. And scraping paint gives you a little bit more freedom to make it what you want it to be. And then I just like to take my brush and kind of smooth it out. I got a little bit of brown in my water, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up in the end. Okay. Now I'm gonna take, let's get a medium brush that's clean. Let's take some light green and let's put a little bit of bright yellow on that too. I'm just gonna take this. That was a lot of yellow. Let's take some of it off. I'm gonna take this and just add some green. Have some grass here. And you can have it be dark green, light green. If you want some of that mustard yellow in there, that would be great too. I'm just gonna blend it out so we get some of those green accents. Since it is almost springtime, you want some of those bright colors to pop out on the brown. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. Just because I think it really stands out. It makes everything really pretty. And if you want to go back in after that brown is a little bit more dry, you can do that. And you can get some of those colors to really pop. But since we're on a little bit of a time crunch here, I'm just going to add it in now. Alright. Now I'm going to take my paint scraper and clean it off. Just like that. It should just scrape off easily with a paper towel. And I'm going to load some white. Kind of dip it in there. And a little bit of brown. Scrape it on. If it'll go on. There we go. And I'm going to create the indication of just some stones here. Just kind of go off into the water. Creates a little bit more complexity, which is always nice. And they can be tiny stones. I have some big ones. I'm gonna blend them out. Okay. Now I'm gonna go a little bit crazy. But don't worry. I know it's scary adding big patches of dark color onto your canvas. So I'm just going to take a brush and combine some of this dark red color and I got too much, but that's okay. Just scrape it back off. And a little bit of brown. And some white got in there too, that's fine. Gonna make this really pretty brown color. And I'm gonna, sometimes it helps to kind of get your brush and apply it to your paint scraper. So I'm just gonna brush it on there, both sides. We're just gonna take this, and drag it across. We're making another kind of riverbank hill situation here in a different color to make it more interesting. And every time you run out of color, just apply more. Just scrape it on there. I'm going to take my brush and smooth it out. Just like so. Round off some of those harsh edges. And if it blends into the other one, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. Now I'm going to take my same paint scraper, wipe off the paint if some of it's still on there. It's okay. And I'm going to put some white, just like that. Just dip it in your white. Get a pretty good amount of white on there. I'm flinging paint everywhere. And I'm going to scrape it down. And it blends really beautifully with that red-brown. And I'm going to take it here, like a little bit of texture on that hill. Just blend it out. Let's see. A little bit more. That's great. Okay. Now we're going to take, now let's do our medium brush. And take our medium brush, wipe it off always, we don't want a wet brush. And we're going to combine our dark green, I'll just put it in the middle here, our dark green, some black, not too much, a little bit of dark blue, not that much, a little bit of dark blue, and some of this bright crimson color until we get kind of a really dark, deep, pretty green. Let's add a little bit more of green here. And you don't want too much paint on the brush. Just kind of scrape it off, whatever you mixed. And we're gonna make some trees. So I like to just take the brush first and start by giving myself a line of where I want my tree to go. And these are gonna be some evergreen trees. I'm just gonna take it, bring it out, in, make it bigger, like a Christmas tree. You just want to dot it on and blend it into the bottom until you get a tree that you're happy with. See, I want this one to be big. I want to bring it all the way up to the top. And you don't have to fill in all the blanks here. There can be some sky peeking through because we're going to add some more detail to these. Let's make another tree off to the side. Can't even see all of it. And you can make big trees, little trees, one tree, no trees. And let's do one more little one in the background because I like these. These are fun to make. Let's give it a little one right there. Great. My easel is shaking, but that's okay. Okay. Now I'm going to take one of my medium brushes again. I'm just going to use this brush because I like this brush a lot. Get all that brown off if you're using the same brush. And I'm going to combine mustard yellow and bright yellow. Mostly bright yellow because I think it's just a nice color to have. I'm going to combine all of that together. Get even more bright yellow here. Till you get a nice yellow that you're happy with. And we're going to do a similar technique to what we did when we were making those trees. We're just going to add a little bit of highlight. Don't highlight everything, just enough to make it interesting. And as we go near the bottom, we want it to get darker. But near the top, where the sun would hit them, we want it to be lit up. And you can fill in some of those blanks you left, where the sky's peeking through, just until you're happy with it. I'm just going to add a touch, darker, darker, darker at the bottom. Just until you're happy with the color on your trees. That looks good. And if you have your lavender color left over, then use that one, or you can mix your dark blue and your bright red and white all over again. See if mine's still wet, so I'm going to use this color. Maybe I'll add some more dark blue. Take some dark blue, add it in there, or red. And I'm going to make some fun little purple trees. So we're going to take that same tree technique, make my line. Oh, let's do one here. Just push out those leaves. I've never seen any purple trees, but we're making a whole new species of tree today. And I'm going to let's do one more here, right there. Let's make him a little bit shorter. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. And I'm going to take some white, just pure white, nothing added. And add a little bit of detail here, same as we did with the yellow. I'm going to scrape off some of this white because I used too much. That's okay. that. And now we're gonna get crazy with our colors and take a medium brush. I'm gonna take a slightly smaller medium. It's covered in brown. I'm gonna rinse that off. And I'm gonna take some light blue. Just tap it on there. Just like that. And we're going to make a fun little light blue bush. Just to blend in some of those colors. You can make some tiny bushes or a big bush. You can make this a yellow bush. I'm going to take that mustard yellow and that bright yellow and add some more foliage to our little hill here. I'm just going to combine that like that. Don't get too much on there. Just going to dot it on. And maybe we'll take some of a little bit of our dark green too. Just blend it in. And I want to make sure it mostly doesn't touch some of that blue, because that would make kind of a funky color. You can bring it off into the sides, as long as you're happy with it. Great, okay. Now we're gonna get back into our water. And I'm gonna combine white and light blue. And this is gonna be using the paint scraper, so it really doesn't matter what brush you're using. And I'm going to take some of my light blue, some of my white, to get this really pretty light color, just like that. And if you have any paint on your paint scraper like I do, just get it off, because we don't want brown water. I guess it's Baytown, so that would be accurate, but we're going to have some pretty water. Was it Baytown where oil and water mix? Isn't that the slogan? We don't have oil in this water. This is pretty blue water. And, oh man, this part always scares me, but that's okay. So pick a direction where you want your water to go. If you want it to go this way, then bring your scraper this way. If you want it to go, I don't know, that way, then bring it the other way. Bring it down wherever. I'm going to make my water go this way. Just don't stress too much. I want to pick up my canvas so I can get it on there easier. And just scrape it on there. Oh, let's see. Let's see. See, I said I was going to make it go down. Maybe I'll make it go this way partially. Yeah. So we've got some big scrapes. And I'm going to make a little bit more of that blue color. And put it on that sharp edge of my paint scraper. Really get it on there. And we're going to outline Alright. Someone's at the front door. We got a coffee delivery. That's a fun surprise. So I'm just going to take that sharp edge, cover it in some of that blue, and outline the water. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Just as long as it's kind of interesting. Great. And oh, we got brushes. Just gonna scrape that in there. And we can leave this part empty since we're gonna add something here in a moment. So now we're gonna, oh, as we are filming this, we have got a delivery of little Jesus. You see? We've got some little Jesus here. They just came in. A reminder that we all need a little Jesus sometimes, especially when making this. I know this is stressful, but you're doing great. And we have little Jesus here to help. So we're gonna wipe off our paint scraper, get the blue off. And we're just gonna take some plain old brown, which I'm out of. So we're gonna take some brown, get it on your paint scraper. Oh, thank you. Oh, don't fall, Jesus. He's gonna fall. There we go. Jesus is here painting with us. And we're gonna get a pretty good amount of brown on there. And we're gonna make a little peninsula type thing. So I'm gonna take this and great. I'm gonna make it kind of a triangular-ish shape. Yeah. Just until you're happy with it. And I'm going to take one of my clean brushes and we're going to blend it out again, just to even out our color a little bit. Great. Now I'm going to take that same paint scraper, get the brown off, and I'm going to add, let's do some white, and pick a shade of red, either the bright red, the dark red. I could even see a little bit of blue on there looking nice, just to make it a little interesting. And let's see if I put too much color. I think I did. I'm going to take some of this off. Just dot it off like that. And I'm just going to scrape it on like that. And if you want to go over a couple times just to blend it out, that's perfect. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna add some more foliage. Let me take my medium brush, should be clean. I'm gonna take whatever's left of that green. My green's mostly dry, but I'll take whatever I have left. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of dark green, not too much. A little bit of that yellow we've been mixing. A lot of bright yellow. And I'm going to add a little bit of grass here. If you took some of your bright yellow and you mixed it in with that red color we have going, you'd get a fun orange grass if you wanted it to be more fall themed. But I like this bright yellow here. Yeah. And you don't want to blend it in too much because then it'll all kind of turn the same brown color. But if you do overblend, then just take a really bright color or a bright iteration of the color you were using and just dot some on there, and you'll bring it back to where it needs to be. Gotta trust. Teaches you a lot about Jesus too. Painting and faith are very similar in a lot of ways. Okay, I'm gonna take some green. I'm just gonna put it where this kind of white brown is. Doesn't really matter. As long as there's some brown in there, some white. Let's add a little bit of dark red too. That's pretty. Just until you get kind of this dark brownish color. We're gonna take that, get a good amount on our brush. We're gonna make a nice little bush. So do kind of a similar technique to how you made the tree. Just until you're happy. I know, I'm sorry we're covering up all that water you worked hard on. If you don't want to make the bush, don't make the bush. Oh, we lost Jesus. Sorry, Jesus. There you go. If you don't want to make a bush to cover up that water, that was very hard. He's shaking with the canvas. He's nodding, he's happy. Just kind of blend that out. Oh, see, we even got some of that blue to pick up too. That's kind of fun. There we go. Just until you're happy with it. Or if you made a mistake on your water, then maybe you want to make that bush a little bit bigger. And we're just going to take, since this bush is pretty dark, I'm just going to take our bright yellow again and highlight it just like I highlight those trees, our foliage everywhere. Again, I think some orange would look nice there too. Or if you wanted a really dark bush, then maybe you want to do some of that mustard yellow. I like to make it kind of round, maybe little half circles here with my brush, just so we can really see the outline of our bush. But you don't want to just outline it like, because that would look silly. There we go. And see on some of those areas that I overblended, I'm just going to dot on yellow where it needs to be. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to put your yellow the same places where I put my yellow, as long as it kind of pops out. Alright, now I'm going to take just some plain old brown. What kind of brush do I want to use? Let's use this smallish medium one. Make sure it's clean. And dry. You know the drill by now. And I'm out of brown again. But it's okay, we have brown right here. Oh wait, no I'm not. It was just on the other thing. Never mind. I'll put some more. Okay, so we're just gonna take a little bit of brown, get it on my brush, and I'm gonna use not the wide edge, but the thin edge here. And we're gonna make a happy little tree. Just go up, however tall or short you want it to be. Mine's going up into the cloud. And I'm just gonna throw some arms on it. Because every tree needs some arms. Let's get one more. Maybe we have some tiny arms in here too. If I can make it go on. Ooh. That's fine. It has a thick arm. It's okay. Just gonna make that color super pressed into the canvas. Oh, let's add one more arm. I have that dot there already. There we go. Your tree can have lots of arms like mine, or it can just be a little stick in the forest. And I kind of like to take my brush at the bottom and get some of the paint off and just kind of blend it in here so it just doesn't look like it's just sticking out. Oh, that tree's kind of sticking out. Let's make a bush. We're gonna cover it. Not the whole thing, just this little bottom part. But if you're happy with where your tree is, then you can stop, put your name on your painting, and be done with it. I'm gonna take some green, some yellow, whatever, and just... See, that's the great thing. If you ever mess up, just put a bush down. There we go. And it blends in nicely with our other foliage. See, and now that this part's dry, we can make some of those colors a little bit brighter if you want to. There we go. Let's see. I think I'm going to make my cloud a little bit brighter and then call it a day. My water's turned this really interesting kind of sap green color. So let's hope it doesn't turn our cloud green. This happened to me last time too. Let's make sure it's super dry. I don't want any of that green water coming through. Alright. So at this point, I'm just going to make some final touches on my painting. And you can do the same if you want to go in, make any colors darker or brighter. Maybe add some more highlights where you think you need some, or put a bush or a big tree where you messed up somewhere. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I'm just gonna take this little brush, dip it in. Let's do some light blue. Pick a color that'll show up wherever you want to sign your name or initials. I'm just gonna do and there we go. And that is our touch of spring painting.